My name is Jasmine Woodson.
Hi, my name is Silla.
I'm Karen Watson.
I'm Yolanda Johnson from Georgia.
This is BB Diamond from New York City.
I'm Dana Galen, and I'm from Tampa, Florida.
I live in Hagerstown, Maryland.
Out here in Maricopa County.
Kalamazoo County, Michigan.
I am a proud African immigrant living in Florida.
I'm from the great state of New Jersey.
I'm Angelina from Philly, and this November, I am not voting for Kamala Harris.
I am not voting for Kamala Harris.
I'm not voting for Kamala Harris.
I am not with Kamala Harris.
I am not with her.
I'm not with her.
I am not with Kamala Harris.
I'm not with Kamala.
I am not for Kamala. I am for Donald Trump.
I am not with Kamala.
I am not with her because she is not with me.
I support President Trump and the economic policies our country experienced under his leadership as our 45th president.
President Trump will support our law enforcement agencies and fund them appropriately.
Donald Trump made me proud to be an American.
I'm with Donald J. Trump.
We need a leader who can make America great again.
Trump puts Americans first, and he always will.
We need Donald Trump.
I and millions of other Black Americans will cast my vote for Donald J. Trump.
I will proudly cast my vote for Donald J. Trump as our next president.
Let's make America great again.
Hey, welcome back to Dino Reacts, where we take ourselves from ignorance to excellence. And as you can see from that clip before, not all Black women are gonna be voting for Kamala Harris. We've seen a very, very big push of Black men like myself that are conservative and that will be voting conservative in this next election. So do not let the big media push or the glam they're trying to put on Kamala Harris state that all Black people are on board with the Democratic policies. We are not. We're looking to see our country go in a more conservative way. The pendulum has led too far in one direction, and we're trying to swing it back to the middle so we can have a more nationalist country that takes care of everybody and puts the responsibility back in the hands of the American people with a smaller government. Now, as we are going down this journey to learn more about our society and the society that we want to vote and establish, we would like to look into the big flip-flopping that Kamala Harris has had over the last couple of weeks with her policies from the past to what she did in the CNN interview. So I got a new video for you today. And as always, let's get after it.
It was the morning of July 21st. Kamala Harris was busy flipping pancakes. That's when she got a call. It was Joe Biden. He was dropping out of the presidential race, and that day changed her life. And Harris talked about it in her first major interview. The chat was just 27 minutes long, yet she's getting a lot of flack for it. Why? Because of her many flip-flops. As a lawyer, Kamala Harris opposed fracking and the border wall. Now, as a presidential candidate, she seems to have embraced both. But will the American voter buy this back and forth? Our next report tells you.
Listen, I'm telling you right now, man. From the DNC up until just up until today, it's been nothing but consistent hypocrisies. It's like if anybody on the conservative side would have been able to flip-flop this many times, they would have completely been treated a joke and nobody would have believed in them. But on the Democratic guy, she gets to completely run as an agenda in 2020 as a presidential candidate and then completely flip the agenda while also stealing topics from her opponent, and it seems to be completely okay and fair. This is insane, and she just keeps on going. It's extremely frustrating to understand the lack of accountability that she gets to have while also getting complete shower with praise as being authentic. It's mind-boggling.
I've decided the best way forward is to pass the torch to a new generation.
On July 21st, Joe Biden dropped out of the U.S. presidential race. He endorsed Kamala Harris. Within a month, the Democrats rallied behind her. She won the party nomination. She became the presidential candidate. The mood was optimistic. Yet, All this happened without Harris winning a single vote.
Dude, and that's another thing. Like, where is the Democratic side screaming for, like, the protection of the rules of the election itself? You know, she was completely complicit in lying, just lying so much about the state of President Joe Biden's dementia. She was complicit. The pull out of Afghanistan, she was there as the last vote. Remember, no vote from a Republican came on that when it came to the voting for the Reduction Act, their Inflation Reduction Act. No Republican voted for it. It was tied 50-50. And she was the tying vote in the Senate. She is the president of the Senate. And she's literally responsible for all the inflation we're going on today. She was the last person in the room and Afghanistan, and none of them take that as a problem. Like, what do the real issues of a person's character truly matter to Democrats at all? She's complicit in so many bold-faced lies to your understanding and your intelligence, and they're sitting there still clapping and screaming like crazy, like it's some kind of moral victory. I don't get it.
Or even giving a single interview. The Democratic nominee aimed to change that on Thursday. She sat down with CNN for her first interview as the Democratic nominee. Beside her was Tim Walz, her vice presidential pick. It was meant to be a chat to get to know Harris. Yet what it turned out to be was 27 minutes of flip-flops. Kamala Harris first ran for the Democratic Party's presidential nomination in 2019. Then she was seen as a liberal progressive candidate.
Oh my God.
But now, as the Democratic presidential hopeful, she seems to have embraced the status quo. And it's something she was asked about.
Sir, I have just a few. I think the most important and most significant aspect of my policy perspective and decisions is my values have not changed.
Okay.
So Harris...
No, let's get back. That's the truth. For all the things that she says in front of the cameras, in front of the media, and how much the media is defending her and letting her, completely change her policies from before. No, that was the truth. Her policies have not changed. She's still the same person, and she's still going to push the same agenda, but she will say whatever it takes to get elected or do whatever it takes to get elected. But her policies have not changed. So for that, 100%ly she was telling the truth.
Says her values haven't changed. But is that true? Let's look a little closer. The first flip-flop was on fracking. It's the process where you drill into shale to extract natural gas and oil. In 2019, she was against fracking. And it makes sense. Remember, Harris was a progressive then. Fracking raised concerns about climate change. So she opposed it. But that changed in 2020, the moment she became the VP candidate. And now she seems to support it.
As vice president, I did not ban fracking. As president, I will not ban fracking. What I've seen is that we can grow and we can increase a thriving clean energy economy without banning fracking.
Listen, a lot of this goes down, and I'm just speaking in backroom conversations. She had her opinion, she had her votes, but this would come. This is what happens. This is what didn't happen to Trump, and this is what happened to her. When it came time for Trump to get in those backroom conversations, he held his ground. It was like, no, I'm not dealing with you guys. No, everything you guys do, it wants to keep the hurt on the American people. So I'm not going to deal with you guys at all. What I'm going to do is I'm going to deal with the companies that are going to deal with the American people and actually make things that work for them. So, of course, the people in the back rooms, as they say, the man in the black jackets, they turned on Trump. Well, when it came to her, when she was running for president, she got in those back rooms and they was like, okay, listen, you have all these ideas. They sound nice, but you're not going to be able to implement us if you want our help. And she's like, another one of the clapping seals, Another one of the clapping seals. And she completely agreed. And that's why she's cackling and nodding her way straight on through this presidential election period. Because the people in the back room support her, which is what we all thought for years is what you needed to do. But President Trump has been proving that that's not the case. he has the people, which is making it more and more dangerous. A guy just tried to run on stage just last Friday again. So like saying, President Trump got a lot to go through right now. He needs all of our support. But this right here, and lucky for us, she can't hide it. And it's just blatantly being put out to the country that she's not going to run the country. All she is a face for the country, and the whole media conglomerate is supporting her. It's the people versus the push of the media. And she's completely got the push of the media, but the people, there are more of us. Get out there and vote.
The second flip-flop was on the border wall. In 2018, Donald Trump started building a wall on the southern U.S. border. Kamala Harris opposed it. She called it un-American, labeling it a medieval vanity project. In 2024, Harris pledges to spend millions on that same wall if she's elected president. All this while opposing Trump.
He killed the bill, a border security bill that would have put 1,500 more agents on the border. Not only push it, I would make sure that it would come to my desk and I would sign it.
Oh my God. The reason why at this point in time you're seeing some of the Democrats, not all, but some of the Democrats completely supporting that bill is just to try to take away votes for conservatives, which is not going to happen because what the Democrats don't know about conservatives, we see through bullshit. We're conservatives. We're common sense people. We see through bullshit. We don't get emotionally caught up into our decision makings. Most of us have a decent savings. Most of us have decent credit. Most of us don't spend frivolously, and we understand the opportunity we have to be able to research things for ourselves. We do not have to have an Ivy League education to understand what's going to benefit us. We look at our pocketbooks, we look at the world around us, and we try to make simple, honest changes. I don't know about the Democrats who are always asking for handouts. I don't want handouts. I want the opportunity to go grow on my own. I want the opportunity to go see something I can create in the world and create it and put it there within reasonable laws and order. That is fair. But when it comes to them and their understanding of things, they're stealing policy, stealing judgment, and for them to flip-flop on the border wall after they have already let in 15 to 20 million illegals. And I'll make another video about all the stories I'm hearing from Colorado to Columbus to New York, just so many different cities about these Venezuelan gangs taking over apartments. I'll definitely put that video together soon. You guys wait, but the Democrats not talking about it. Oh, and I just watched earlier today a video of Trump going to the border talking to all the families that are having to deal with the kidnaps and raping. It's insane that the Democratic controlled mainstream media is not putting it out there because it goes against their narrative. But that's what they want. They want to ensure people getting in, giving them votes. And now that I'm understanding another lie that is being pushed by them, when they saying that they're not giving money directly to illegal immigrants, they saying that honestly because they're giving money to nonprofits. And nonprofits are giving the money to illegal immigrants. So that's how this game is being played. And she's all completely complicit in that game. They feel like they got enough of the people in to vote. They have enough illegals in every single state to vote. There's also a situation now recently where they did a polling where there is close to 350 to 400,000 on average illegal immigrants new since 2020 in every state, with New York and California topping out at the most. I think New York had 1.4 million, while California had 968,000. But like we're the most, but average across the states is 350,000 to 400,000 illegal immigrants per state. If they can get those guys on the ballot, that's enough to swing the vote. That's why I register myself as a poll watcher, and I'm going to be in the election process here in Los Angeles, California, which I know this is a state that predominantly is going to be voting blue, but I still want to see how things go on behind closed door. And since, I'll let you guys know, I don't want to talk too much about it because I want to make sure I can still keep the job. I don't need the job, but I want the job so I can understand like how they're going to play around with these voting things. But they understand what's going on. They had the borders run open so they can get what I would call them their little secret police force And now they're all in. They're not going to go anywhere. Even when Trump wants to do a mass deportation, it's going to be one of the hardest things ever, because COVID took away all our heroes. You know, everybody that had the balls to stand up against taking the Fauci ouchie. That's funny. That's what Officer Tatum likes to say. The Fauci ouchie was pushed out. We were pushed out of all our businesses, pushed out of all our government jobs, left to rough for ourselves. And a lot of us have turned like Uber driving and doing anything we can independent, so we do not have to be complicit with a government mandate to force something medically into our bodies. And those are the true heroes. Those are the strong people, and I believe in them. But the people they brought in now, these cops is all cowards, man. Don't believe me. Just because you wear the uniform don't make you strong. You know? There's a lot of very much coward men in the Democrat Party. And none of them are true patriots. All of them kowtow to whatever it feels is going to make their woman happy. And in doing all that, you put those guys in uniforms, real men going to see that. And what was supposed to be between these coward men and the criminals were supposed to be as conservatives. But they took that out. They pushed this out the way. Now the criminals are like, man, we can go do whatever the fuck we want. And they're already here. So we're going to have to deal with them. And she is 100% responsible for that. And she's going to have to take responsibility for that. That's why the CNN interview was crap. They didn't ask her the real questions. That's why I hope she gets to be with a real journalist and not a propagandist.
The contradictions did not end there. After Harris, it was Tim Walz's turn. In 2018, he claimed he carried weapons of war. But he's never been deployed to a combat zone. So his statement was questioned.
Putting your trust in me.
And this is how he defended himself yesterday. Walz says he misspoke.
Yeah, in this case, this was after a school shooting, and my wife, the English teacher, told me my grammar is not always correct.
That sums up Kamala Harris's first interview. A lot of flip-flops, clarifications, defending the current administration, and a dash of Trump bashing.
Anybody who's about beating down other people is a coward.
When asked about the historic nature of her candidacy, Harris almost seemed cautious, as if she wants to distance herself from it, probably wanting to avoid Hillary Clinton's mistake in 2016. So here's her plan as the future American president in a nutshell. It's to project continuity. It's to hug Biden's record and further it. But will America embrace this? We'll find out this November.
Well, as you can see, it's just another episode of the hypocrisy of the Democrats and their presidential candidate, Kamala Harris, and Vice President Coach Walz. Coach of the cheerleaders, not of the men. So just remember this. As we're going forward in this presidential election, you guys have to look at this for what this is. They're pulling out every single trick and every single clown and pony they can to try to get you to understand, or get you to believe that this woman is best for the country when she is not. She is basically just the ultimate puppet. The government, the presidential race in entirety, and I'm including even talking for President Trump, should not be about the one person. It'd be about the will of the people and who's going to institute the best will of the people. And she does not speak for all of us. You can't import 15 million people in there and then talk about you speak for them. And then you get a bunch of people that want to use those 15 million people, and I'm talking about these nonprofit organizations. I had a girl here in Venice, California, trying to get me to work for a nonprofit, just to say that she could use my ability to talk to crowds to help get government money. Nah, and I told her no. If I can't be honest and speak through authenticity, then I'm not going to be a part of anything. No matter how much money you're going to put in my pocket, I have to be myself. It's important between me, myself, and God Almighty. And God speaks first. It's always through Him. So when it comes to this people, I don't think they have God in them. I think it's all a profit business that they can use and get a lot of people that don't understand the devil that is in money to get behind them. And there's a lot of people like that, man. They want to be a part of the club. They want to go to the Epstein Islands. They want to go to the weird shows. They do. It's true. And we got to do the best we can to keep these people out of the government. Well, they're already there. They're already there. Now we got to get them out. And they are in their root and stem. You know, they do not want to get taken out. So this is why they're going through this. And believe you me, the silent majority, we have all the people that we need here in the country to get these things done. Do we got some dark days ahead of us? Of course we do. But it's always darkest before dawn. But as conservatives, we are fighters, and we fight through the darkness because we get to the light, and we will. We have God on our side. So when it comes to lying Kamala Harris and the Democrat Party, just know the people are really, really rooting for change. And not the change they're looking for, the change of bringing the modern-day Sodom and Gomorrah to the global world order. No, the change of bringing us back to the sovereignty of an independent country by the people, for the people, in the constitutional republic. And I'm happy to be a part of that. So if you want to make your voice heard and the freedoms that you want in this world to be able to do what you need to do under proper rights and laws and common sense and morality and a meritocracy, then you have to vote for Donald Trump. Not Donald Trump the man, the principles that Donald Trump is standing for. You got it? That's right. Woo! Once again, thank you guys for watching Dino Reacts. And if you like my content, like, comment, and subscribe. And as always, chef's kiss. Mwah!